I don't know how to do this. gmail.com. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Yes, it's me. What the hell is this? Oh. Okay. Boo, boo, boo. Someone messaging me. Oh shit, there's one viewer. Hello, viewer. Hello. Is it? Oh, he likes it. Is the... Wait, how are we doing here? We got one viewer. What's up? I can't play music apparently, so I can just sing. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sing. How do I? Okay. I have one screen because I'm not cool. Someone texted me. Oh, that's my roommate. This is very unexciting, but it's okay. Okay. Oh shit, so someone else is here. Whoa. 2 viewers, what the heck? This is crazy. Hello everybody. I don't know what I'm doing with the streaming, so if this doesn't work, hello. Hello. Oh shit, everyone's here. The gang's all here. I am drinking watered down coffee because I'm trying to give up coffee, and I was feeling weak, and so I gave in, and I'm having very watered down coffee right now. I am working on a few things. So what we got here? Ooh, hold on. So it's gonna. Thank you. I am excited to see where it goes to, because I don't really know all the time. So right now. Let's get rid of the HUD because the HUD isn't really doing much. Capsule component, hidden game. Let's get the pointer. Audio's great. You can hear you clearly. Oh, hell yeah. I am winging it. I've never streamed on YouTube, so this is a learning experience for all of us. Progress bar. Let's hide it because I don't need it. Collapsed. Okay. So here's your little guy. You run around. You're doing crazy things. Hello, the cheese. So right now it goes boom, boom, boom. That took way too long. Okay. Basically. What is happening is one of you runs down to, let's make that 2 seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds. Let's see, staggered execution too. Yeah, so when he runs down, just create things. Let's go boom, boom, boom. Okay, perfect. When he jumps down here. Whoop. Oh, I'm still falling. Oh, no, I'm still here. Okay. Oh, I don't have a light. Okay, so one of you jumps down here. This is very placeholdery. It's just kind of what you saw in the demo. Because I just want somewhere to run around in, but it's very much not finished. So don't even worry about this. Right now I'm working on, so one of you stays behind, and you are connected to this cable, which you're trying to bring somewhere else. So you jump down there and you have a crazy cable, and the cable, press F. No, it doesn't work. The other one of you has to unfurl this like wire thing, because if you run too fast as the other player and the other person isn't doing their job, you're going to untether and bad things are going to happen. But while that's happening, you have people coming, people potentially coming to knock you around. They don't love you. And so what you do here is to check to see if they are on their way. You go boop, boop, and eventually, if one of them's on their way, you will see that they are on their way, and you will be very unhappy about that. Let's put someone in there just for placeholder. Hello, AB. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but hopefully my enthusiasm made up for the lack of pronunciation. Let's see here. Let's put let's put a little guy in there. Let's put this guy, where are we gonna put him? We're gonna put him right. This little guy right here. So let's see what happens if we make him real big. Make him real big. Whoop. And I want to say, hey, you have this little safety face guy. Let's see right here. I think his name's Alarm in this. It is. Okay. How long? Is it a fucking heart button that I can't see? How long have... I can't fucking read what that says. How long have blank been working? I'm assuming it's me. This little heart button for some reason is in the way, and I don't like that. Oh. How long? Oh, there is no extra word. Never mind. I have been on so many fucking mates. Thank you, man. I appreciate, or woman or other. I'm not. I don't want to pinpoint anyone down, but I appreciate it. And I've been working on it. I started in, I'd say September. It was going to be a sort of similar game, and then I ended up kind of veering away from that and making the demo. The demo was always going to be like a weird mood piece for the main game. And so the main game is not at all like the demo. The demo is kind of like think of it kind of like not a teaser, but it's like an introduction, I guess. And ultimately in the main game, that will serve as like a tutorial for like how the concepts work, which are similar, but kind of different. Let's see here. So boop doo boo. So boom. Ooh, it's kind of freaky. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's kind of freaky. You can see someone in there. And so if you were trying to be like, hey, how long do we have? You'd be like, what up? I'm going to check this light. And you're going to be like, okay, boo, boo. Oh shit, there's a guy there. We got to watch out. But let's check it. Let's make this a little brighter. Okay, that I'm liking. What do you guys think? Maybe a little brighter. No. Undo. Let's make it a little brighter. So that each going to be, let's call it 2000. Okay, we're going to make each of these lights, and we're making 2000. There's no, I don't know if the unit is. there's like a bunch of different units they use. I think it's 2,000. Just 2,000 what? Nobody knows. Ooh, there we go. Now we're talking. So it fits. Hell yeah, man. I mean, hopefully you like my style of game too when it finally comes out, because I hope it's good, I guess. Yeah. And so right now I'm kind of just setting this up, and eventually what I want is, I don't know, this isn't super exciting for you guys to watch, but here, I'll show you what. So these are placeholder models right now, but you can see what kind of happens. Let's see here, the player. Let's take the flashlight and turn it back on. Let's, I guess we can cast shadows. So what happens is, yes, yeah. So here's your guys, you're hanging out, boo, 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 you're running around, doing your crazy thing. You can communicate like this. So ultimately in the main game, you're not going to be around each other at all, aside from when you're at the very beginning. Don't undersell yourself. Oh, thank you. And so, yeah, these are placeholder models. They're not going to be in the final game, but just hang out with them, look at them. There'll be 2 of these buttons, and so you can communicate with yes and no, or whatever you want these buttons to be. So if you want to say like, hey, stop, or hey, do something else. And then what you do is you jump down here, and you try to find shit. And I forgot to add the... So what you do is you grab this little fucker, and you try to get to... So you're both trying to, you're going to have backpacks that run, it's kind of convoluted if I'm being totally honest, but I like it. So you are not, the players that you're moving in this game are not real. They're like imitation human beings, and your kind of consciousness is inserted in them. So when you die, you don't actually die, you're kind of like, your person dies, and then you find a new one. But it runs on like a very specific amount of power. Let's jump down there too with this guy. And so you try to find weird little tapes that keep it going. And then ultimately, one of you tries to get to the end to power up shit. And then the other one has to follow them afterwards, after they're done. And then you keep kind of piggybacking off each other. Oh, there we go. There's the little wire. So wires over here, wires over here. And then, boop, there we go. And there's going to be different enemies that walk around. Let's see here. Some of the enemies are like sound-based. So like, let's see here. Where is it? I forget what I fucking... Oh, listener, right? So if you make a noise on your mic, or are you doing it completely alone? Effectively, I have a friend who's helping out with some small things, and I kind of they help me brainstorm and stuff. But in terms of like practical work, it's more or less mostly me. Yeah, so it's a lot. I don't have a. I was just talking with another friend today about getting a to-do list and like a checklist, because I don't really have one, and I realized the reason why I don't have one is because there's so much to do that if I had a list, I think it would kind of stress me out. Yeah, so until I get, I think, closer, I'm not going to really have a to-do list, because I just want to do what I want to do, and then when I realize what I need to do to get it done, I'll start doing that. But yeah, the sound, and I got to make all the music for it, and I got to do the models, and all the other fun stuff. But yeah, so there's a bunch of these guys around, and if you talk or you make noise in the game, they send your location to, I don't fucking remember what this guy's called. Nope, not Watcher. The Watcher. Yeah, so this guy who's, again, placeholder model. But he'll be a bigger dude who, there's only one of them, and he kind of stalks you around and try to get through without getting caught by some of these guys. But it's not going to be, there's not going to be like a lot of like, I want it to be more atmospheric than it is necessarily like, ooh, run from this guy, run from that guy, which I think is fine. But I don't know, I don't love that. Plus it requires really tight mechanics. It's tough, man. It's really tough. Yeah, there's just so much fucking stuff to keep track of. I mean, if you break down how much time everything takes, I think that's the thing. I think if I knew how much time it was going to take me, I would stop doing it. And so it's kind of like ignorance is bliss kind of thing, where if I don't know, I can't be like, oh my God, I have, this many hours to work on this, because that would bum me out. So there's 10 of you here. Ah, cool. Yeah, so I guess, I don't know, does anyone have any questions, or I can just keep working. I don't know what people do on this. Like, am I supposed to am I supposed to do stuff? I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it. So I think here I'll pull up, see brush. Here's what I think the player character is gonna look sort of like. Hopefully I still have it. I do, yes. I feel like it's weird to have total silence, but then I read you can't have music playing, so I'm like, I don't know what to do. Very early model. He's gonna probably have some his little butt. He's probably gonna have some pants and probably a shirt. But here's gonna be the thing. He's gonna have like a bunch of cords coming out of his head, and this is gonna be the player character. I think, I don't know. I want it to be again kind of like a weird amalgamation of like a person and electronics, but like, I don't know, not happy looking. Yeah. It's kind of some weird loose skin over here. Yeah. But there's a lot to, it's a fucking pain in the ass, so I haven't bothered doing it, hence the weird gas mask guys, which I felt like, I don't know, kind of captured the look I want. I'll probably put some sort of like, some message, oh no, you can play copyrighted music. Okay, thank you, man. Do your thing. I love your demo and have no way. Hell yeah, man. Yeah. So I don't know. It's all very. I'd say one of the biggest issues I have right now is just like general choice paralysis, and like how there's just so much fucking stuff to do, and so many ways you could do it, and so it's like I'm like, oh, like this is an amazing idea. I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be the best idea, and then I start doing it, and I'm like, oh, that's a lot of work. Let's do a different idea, and so it's kind of been a lot of like kind of pivoting a lot, trying to find the idea that kind of makes me be like, that's the one, and I think this is it. That might change as I play it and I go, actually, like that aspects of it aren't all that much fun, because you never know, especially because it is multiplayer. I mean, you can play it solo, so it won't be entirely co-op, but I feel like a large part of it is going to be co-op, so it's hard to be like, this is super fun when I'm just like, pretending to be the other person, being like, this is so much fun. I'll show you guys some other stuff. Here's another little guy. Let's see, change it. No. This guy's taking forever. Here's one guy. I'm not sure what to do with him yet. That's why he hasn't really, he doesn't really have a name. I don't know what to do with him. he had like a weird, I don't know, he looks too demony. That's my problem. He looks like a weird demon. I don't want to be a demon. I want him to be like a really fucked up looking person, but not like a weird creature. I want it to be like he looks like a person who kind of went a little crazy, not like a weird other species of thing. Which sounds like it's semantical, but here's another guy. Got a little mask on, he's hanging out, he's got a big neck boy. There's another big neck boy. I think it's the same guy, but I kind of went with a different direction. Let's check him out. Let's see what this big neck. Oh, he's big head boy. Forgot about him. Yeah, big head boy. Didn't really get that far with him, if I'm being honest. I kind of gave Trevor. Call him Trevor. And here's, you guys can check out the lady from the demo, whose head kind of pops out of her face. Her face pops out of her face. I don't really know. Here we go. Here's the face, and it pops right out. Animating was a pain in the tuchus. This is a photo scan from like Cinema 4D of like, it's supposed to be like you put in like architectural ArcViz stuff to be like, this person is going to go to the cafe that you're trying to build. But I was like, there's something freaky about like, it's like they're lifelike, but then it's like this uncanny weird shit. So then I was like, whatever, face just pops out. And that's what happened. The face just popped right out. Okay, oops. Here we go. Yeah, so I guess actually, I'm gonna fix these lights. You guys can watch me do that. But regardless, I'm happy you guys are here. It's very exciting. And if there's anything you guys want to see, there's a lot I gotta do, so let me know and I will do it. So right now, this is the light thing. Light. Right here. And it turns on when you interact with the button. Button choice. This is called an interface, and so it goes between the two things. Let's just get rid of that. Right now, when it turns on the point light, and it turns on. So body horror co-op game, sort of, yeah. Yeah, I want it to be like, I don't know if you guys have ever read the book. Well, it's like the Southern Reach trilogy. It's by Vandermeer. I think Vandermeer. I forget his first name. I think his last name is Vandermeer. They turned it into a movie, Annihilation, which is very different and worse and better in different capacities, but that weird, like, I don't know, there's something about it, there's like some itch that book started, or that series started, and I feel like there aren't a lot of games that capture that same feeling of like, be a session. So I think initially, it's going to be more of a session co-op thing, and then here's one of the bigger issues. The issue is I don't have a lot of money, and I am kind of running out of money at a shocking rate. And basically, I can either get a job that takes up a lot of time and I won't be able to finish, or I find a publisher who's willing to give me money, but then it turns into like a publisher thing, and then I'm no longer kind of behind the wheel necessarily as much as I'd like to be. Or I release it into early access and hope that people like playing it, and then I can work for a longer time building up kind of it to a larger capacity. And to me, that kind of sounds like the best route, because I love kind of I love those types of games, like the kind of like I think you said, session co-op horror, and I think, but I do think there's a lot of things right now that can be not improved upon, but I think there's a lot of things that you could do with it that aren't being done necessarily. So I think it's the opportunity to do something that's pretty fun, and to kind of help fund the larger game that I want to make. Yeah, I guess it's unfortunate that that's how the world kind of works, but I guess I could slave away and toil away on it for the next, the single player game that I want to make for the next like year, and either move in with my parents or I don't know, get really clever with money stuff. No, it's definitely not going to fall in the early. Oh, early never done this. Fair point. Yeah, I think I remember, what is it? Not Dead by Daylight. What's that? 7 Days to Die, I think it's called. I think I bought it almost 11 years ago now in early access. Still in early access. I haven't played it in a while. I'm sure the people who are making it are very sweet, and the game's very fun. I assume. I haven't played in a while. But I think to that point, it is fair. That's a fair concern. But yeah, I guess so like if I were a big studio, right, I could have a bunch of playtesters play it, hone what I'm working on, be like, okay, like that aspect I really love, like that mechanic I really love, like all these different things. And so when you release it, ideally, maybe this is done less these days when there's so many bug fixes, but like ideally when you release the game, you've had a lot of people play and you're relatively assured that like people are going to really enjoy it. I don't have that. So I think one of the advantages to doing early access is being like, hey, like here's a proof of concept I think is really cool. Here's some opportunities I think are really cool. Like, what about this? Or I guess it's different versions of early access. For me, it'd be more like, what are the things about this game that that kind of resonate with you and you really enjoy, and then I can kind of go ham on those things, which I wouldn't really necessarily be able to do if I just released it as it's done. Yeah, and so it's both I really, really, really want feedback, and I want to make a really fun game, but I also want to not, I don't want to move with my parents, and I don't want to eat peanut butter every day, which is what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I think I get the apprehension. I totally get it, and I think hopefully it's fun. I need advice on how to promote a game video project. I feel like it's weird now that most of my screen is just it's the stuff that I'm working on. I'm not even fucking working on it right now. Here, I'm gonna do this. Can I make this fucking bigger? I'm gonna make this bigger. Does that change things? Is it still? Alright, whatever. I'm just gonna assume it made it bigger. I think I don't have really real advice because I don't really know what I'm doing. But I think I don't know. I think just I think I've been super, super fortunate. I'm incredibly lucky with people caring about my game. Because I see so many fucking amazing games, or shouldn't be swearing, but can I swear in here? I don't know, whatever. I've seen so many amazing games on Steam that have my game has not been released on Steam yet, so maybe it will still have like 4 reviews, but let's see, some people, exactly. That's kind of what happened. I'm not big. I think I got lucky. I think, a few people who it is, yeah. Well, sort of. I've kind of like, it is, but also I think none of it's sorry, I'll get back to to Gregory, your thing. But it definitely the same universe, but I think as I move forward with it, I kind of like, it evolves. So like, I'd love to say that I had some big document that I was like, it was all planned out, and I was like, it's all set in stone, and I'm just kind of moving forward with it. But it's kind of more of like, here are these ideas and concepts, and I also have horrific tendonitis in basically every muscle in my body, so hence these things. Excuse me. And so yeah, it might change a little bit from Future Racer, but it's kind of the same deal. But to your point, Gregory, I think, and I feel stupid being like, I'm going to give advice because like I'm not wildly successful, and I don't really know what I'm doing. But I think, I guess it depends. Just because they want to be part of that, I think there can be a lot of people who help you. True, that is true. I have some issues with that because I think one of the issues is I don't like not paying people, right? Like I don't have a lot of money, so I don't want to have people be like, hey, like how many favors can you ask of someone before you're like, I kind of have to pay you. And I don't really have any money to pay people, so I don't really want to ask because then it's like, it's weird. I don't know. And I mean, I'm sure there absolutely are people who would want to help out, and I'm super grateful for those people who would want to help. But again, I think if you're doing something and you're doing it well, I think you deserve to be paid. And so I don't, it's cool. I think sorry, I have to read it loud. Thank you. So I'm all over the place here because I've never done a live stream before really. So that, like, I've tried to like read the things, and I don't know, I have really bad ADHD. But in terms of like, I think it's two-sided things. I'm afraid to offer, so I'm afraid to ask. Yeah, it's fair. You could always offer sweet echoes. Yeah, I've thought about that too. But then it's also, again, hard to be like, I guess, so I work on this all the time, every day, every second of every day I'm thinking about this all the time. To the point that I'm like, it's a bit of a detriment. But I think it's hard to ask that of somebody, even if you're just paying them in equity. It's Carhartt. I got it years ago. It is sick. It is like basically never going to. It is like made out of like. It's not super soft, but it is like the inside is like moving van blanket, which personally I love. It's I don't know. It's great. I love this jacket. And I don't know what I was saying. But if you're thinking of getting one, Carhartt jacket, 2 thumbs up. What was I saying? Thank you. I guess, yeah, to Gregory, I keep getting distracted from your point. I apologize. If you want to get, I think marketing, you just have to know, not know, but I think you have to just experiment, I guess, and just like try to see what is resonating with people. So like, when I first was doing it, I was posting like weird videos of like these little, those like weird images of people being like, and everything. And I think it took a while. I think the weird floaty head thing, I think it has been by far the most successful. Not on YouTube, but on Twitter it was far more successful. And I think just like posting random shit and just being like, not random, but just like disparate things. If you post the same thing over and over again, it can be useful, but I've found that doing different things and being like, okay, like what is resonating, and like, okay, that thing is kind of resonating, like I'm going to try more of that, or like, oh, I posted that and like that like for whatever reason, I mean, it could just be that, the algorithm or whatever didn't show it to people, or it could be that I have no idea. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I started on Twitter with like, I think I had like I had like 30 followers or something. And there's a pretty decent amount now. And that was from just posting weird shit, which still boggles my mind because I'm like, I don't know, it feels like you're just pissing into the ocean because you're just doing something and like nothing happens. Like for like months I was posting stuff and it would just be like one person would be like, awesome. I mean, I love that one person, but it can be super, super, super discouraging. And it's hard to know if what you're doing is insane. Like, will people look back and go like, how admirable is it that he just persevered? Hey, it's Vitas Mr. Tamura. He is a wonderful game dev. And he does, he did the Insomnus, I think, sleep experiment game. And I kind of, what was the most recent one? Tamura Redos, and there's a whole bunch of them. He's a really cool dude, and you should check out his games and his Discord and all that jazz. But what I was saying was just like it can get super discouraging, and it's hard to know if people look back and be like, oh, like this guy was doing like at what point should you stop? I think is the issue. And like there's so many people who it's like, they did all they could and they persevered and they found success and like everyone's like, what a good heartwarming tale. But like, what if you're one of the guys who didn't succeed? And so people look back and they're like, oh man, he's still doing it and like it's clearly not going to make it. And like, how do you know which side are you? Are you the person that like, are you like the Disney movie or are you like the A24 movie? And I think I never know. So I can get that talking to you, Gregory. It can be hard. It can be really hard. But I think ultimately, it's kind of worth it. I think it's cool. I love developing, and if this doesn't work out, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I really like doing it. So I'll have to figure out. It's Eastern, and I feel like, yeah, no, it does. It feels like you're just fucking pissing in the. I don't even know. It's hard to stick to it. Yeah. Or no. Yeah. I know, right? It's like, that's true. I just remember I used to play music in my 20s, and I eventually got a job because I got really tired of being like super poor all the time. But occasionally play with a band who was like, in their 40s or 50s or, they were probably like mid 30s at the time, but at the time it felt like they were fucking ancient. And they still were like, some of them were still convinced that they like, any day now they were going to like, make it big. And there's nothing to shit on, 35-year-olds who are trying to follow their dreams. Like, I'm 34, so, fuck it. But it bummed me out because I was like, they don't like, and some of their music just wasn't that great. So it'd be like, I'd look at it and be like, man, it's hard because like, I just didn't want to be that person. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be the person who didn't know when it was time to go home, I guess. And it's like the last guy at the party who everyone's like, they were not good. They were fine. It was usually like 2 decades too late. It was like they were playing what was popular when they were like 18, and it wasn't super popular anymore. After 6 years of investors telling you to kill yourself, Jesus. It's a wild world out there, guys. But one, I appreciate you all being here because it's cool. Hell yeah, that's great. That's that's what was it? The guy who did who was the farming game? Stardew Valley. His I think his girlfriend at the time, basically, worked out for 5 years, I think, and I can't imagine being, like, I'm sure there were so many times where the guy, like, his girlfriend was like, dude, it's been like 4 years, like, you gotta get a job. Or maybe she wasn't, maybe she was like, I'm not trying to, I'm just, like, anyone after 4 years would be like, are you sure, man? Yeah, oh yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not the failing that scares me, it's the, I guess it's just the not knowing. It's like, if people, it would kill me if it was like, I guess it's the pity, you know what I mean? Where people look at you and they're like, oh, like he doesn't, oh, like he still thinks, And I think that's the worst part. Like if you were like, oh, he failed, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. But they'll like, oh, that look of like, when you tell people you're 34 and you're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, well, I'm unemployed and I'm making video games. And they go, oh, that's the look I don't want. But, that's okay. That's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's great. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. What should do you think you should be doing this? Oh, hell yeah. Slugs of Money, man. I love that animation. Do you think you should be doing this? I don't know. It's a question. That's a good question. I don't know. I am very, I think the one's really long answer. Yeah, well, so here's the thing. I'm a very cautious person. I do not take a lot of risks. I did music, but I never really went all in on it, right? Because I always had like another job, and I was always like, people were like, oh, you should tour and stuff, and I was like, oh, I don't know, it's too much money, like, I got to be responsible, and I'm a pretty cautious person, and when I first saw the Smiling Head thing around Trinidad, I was freaked out, I left. It's freaky, right? But to your point, Gregory, I am bizarrely confident about this, and I think I have never really been confident about anything else in my entire life, and I feel good about this, and I feel like I gotta follow that, and so if it fails, and I'll be like, oh, well, fuck it, I lost, a couple years, whatever, yeah, I don't know, I guess I just have to, yeah, I don't know, I don't think there's an alternative, and I think that's kind of the way I'm structuring it, where I'm not really, there's no plan B right now, which is stupid. It is a terrible idea, and I do not give you that, no advice there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm swimming out to sea, hoping there I find land, and I don't really have a plan for if I don't. But fingers crossed I do. See you later, Gregory. Thanks for stopping by. You're a hero, and back at you, friend. I think a lot of confidence is telling that you should keep going. Thank you. Team's definitely gonna kill us. I mean, so I'm also not looking for like people to be like, Jim, you can like. I don't. It is very scary all the time, but I don't. Can disappoint a lot of people. To me, I think that may get called for after this amazing demo can disappoint a lot of people. Oh, okay, fair. Yeah. I think. I mean, I kind of explain like the. So I think the issue is right. I want something that. My issue with more. Hearing how curious you are to I mean, I do want it to be really good. That's the thing. I wake up every fucking day at like 4 a.m. and I'm like, oh my god, like this has to, like, it is something I think about all the time, always. But I don't know. Like, I guess the co-op thing is I haven't played a lot of yeah, that's a good point. I I think the issue. I think I want to play a co-op horror game that's really scary. Um, I think that's my reasoning for it because I think the ones that I've played are really fun. They're super fun, um, but they're never all that scary. And I think there's something about there's a weird feeling I feel like you can capture. No, like I don't think you not being a game dev makes no difference here. You have an opinion, and that's valuable and valid. And I don't think you should feel like oh, I don't have like it doesn't matter. You play games, and I think that's relevant enough. Um, yeah, it's selfishly I just want to play a thanks. I just want to play a horror game that's just fucking freaky. And I think the ones that I've played are really fun, but they don't. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I bought that when I was 15, and then I didn't use it because my friend, we used to have band practice at his house. His brother got super wasted, tripped in my amp, broke the power outlet on it, and it turns out it was like a super easy fix. 20 years later, or a little less than, I soldered it back together, and I never use it because my neighbors are too nice, and I don't want to do that to them, and they have cats, and I don't want to scare them. But it's a great amp. Yeah, that's a camera. That's my grandfather's camera right there. He used to be a news photographer. That's my dad's old film camera. He used to be a photographer. Now he is about to be a retired teacher, and that is an amp. But I get that people are going to be pissed off about the co-op thing. It's peak, but I don't think it'll be possible to save in co-op project. I'm slightly confused by that. Possible to save? Save. It can start a senior bait kind of project, gain attention, money, and another. That's kind of what I'm like. Like basically, I want to make a game that is also replayable because I think there's many reasons why I want it to be co-op. One of which is that I want to play a co-op game that's really scary. Two, I want a game that is replayable so that I think one of the issues as a developer is that, and this is like, it's great, but it's also a huge issue, is that people watch people play your game and then they don't play it themselves. And like as someone, like at the end of the day, like if I were a super rich billionaire, like I would just make games for free and I would release all of them for free because who gives a shit? The problem is I'm not. I'm on unemployment, so I think I can't like to continue doing this, which I love. Oh hey, it's Kate. Kate is the mod of the main mod of the Discord channel. She's super rad. She's hanging out. I guess it's not streamer bait, but to be a horror game and to be successful, you kind of have to have people stream it, right? Like that's how these games get played, is that they see other people playing it and they want to play it themselves. The problem is with the narrative game, you watch someone play it and then the incentive to play yourself has been reduced. For example, in Future Racer, a lot of people watched people play it. I made very little money on the actual selling of it, which is, again, I'm not complaining because I'm very grateful that people played it. But for my next game, I'm like, okay, well, how do I want to sustain myself as a developer. I want to be able to eat. I want to be able to afford somewhere to live. And so to do that, you have to make a game that people can both enjoy other people watching and they also have the incentive to play themselves. And so I think ideally, if silkbulb test, the co-op game, does well, it'll fund me to have enough money to make the game that I don't really give a shit about if people just watch other people play it or they play themselves. I'm like, hey, like here's a narrative experience. Like I'm super fucking proud of it. Like watch it, play it, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. Like I don't necessarily like the incentive is not there for me to be like, I need you to buy this. And yeah, I want to make another fucking video bar before at the same time. Now I'm getting younger, so it's always balanced. Exactly. Yeah, it is a real balance. And I don't know what. I don't have the magic answer. I don't know. But my feeling is working a lot of time on a narrative single player horror game would probably like I guess that's the thing. Would I be necessarily more proud of making an incredibly awesome short, like single player horror game? Probably. I probably would, like, that's kind of the game that I'm like, oh, that would be like, I'd be so proud of that. But again, like, then I put that out and maybe, you know, a few people buy it and then I'm like, well, okay, shit. Like, I don't, like, that was the last one because I don't have any more money. And so I kind of, it's like, you know, it's, yeah, I mean, I hope that there's like that fear of being a sellout, right? Like being like, oh, like, you know, I'm making something for the money. But like at the end of the day, like, if I can make money on this, I can make more games. And so if I don't make money, then I don't make games. So it's I guess it's different from like EA or something where it's like, oh, like they have more money than God. It's like, you know, I'm not asking for a yacht. I would like to make games and, you know, be able to sustain my living. Is it about designing your art piece, which is the game, or pleasing the majority? Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, it's a super balance. And I don't have the answer. I don't know what it is. And I'm hoping that this game kind of is able to go between those and be like, oh, it's something that is both, you know, very narratively satisfying, but also something that you can play, you know, more than once or watch someone play it. I was talking to the developer of Mortuary Assistant. Super cool dude, by the way. I cannot say nicer things about the developer of Mortuary Assistant, but he mentioned how in his game, in the Mortuary Assistant, I didn't realize this playing it, but he has like a bunch of different things that happen, that can happen at different points. So like based on what you do, like things can happen at different times. So like if you're playing it, you get a different experience than maybe if you watch someone else play it, which I thought was a really creative and cool way of kind of allowing to have a single player game and kind of fighting the tide of people who just watch it and then are like, I don't really need to play it myself. But I also just want to play a cool freaking horror game. I think there's so many out there that are really cool, but aren't scratching the itch that I have. I'm like, I just want to play a game like the game I'm making. And that's selfish, but you know, that's I don't know. That's why I want to play. Where's the part where you actually start deving? There. I was deving, and then I got distracted because I can't really multitask very well. So I was like, do I talk or do I work? And then, you know, I'm silent and no one, I don't know. But if you guys want to see me do something, I will. You know, I'm here to do whatever. So if you guys want to see me work on a specific thing, or you just want to see working in general, I'm here for it. You trash bin, I'll do a little more work. So right now, make my little thing smaller. I don't know if that actually is making. Oh, I can make myself look crazy. Look at that. Is that actually changing it? Can you see that? I look crazy. We lost somebody. Someone did not like me looking crazy. That's fair, friend. I mean, you can't hear me saying this because you left, but just pretend that, you know, I don't know. Here we go. Ooh, there we go. All right, now I look squished. Okay. Well, this guy messaged me on Twitter about some creepy photographs he found, and in like an abandoned house in Kansas, and he was like, "Do you want me to scan them and send them to you?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I do." Really cool dude. Anyway, right now, I am. Oh yeah, that's right. It's Vitas. Vitas? Am I pronouncing that right? Apparently, oh my god, look at this little moment. These guys are having a moment. So right now, I am working on a light. Right now, here's a light. Let's see here. Excuse me. So I built these lights to show hallways off and stuff. I mean, they're just lights. Because on you think you do not like a horror game. I also would like to know that. So Boop-a-doo. Sorry, I'm always making boop-a-doo sounds. I don't know why. It's just like a nervous tick. I have no explanation for it. But right now, the light is made up of two parts. It is made up of the lights, these little cylinders right here, and an actual light that shows off light. So here's doing the do again. Okay, so here it is with just the emissive. Here it is with the light, and what I want is it to turn off right now. If here's a little switch. Oh, it's doing multiplayer. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. So right now it turns on the light and it goes boom, boom, down the hallway. Show off what's down there potentially. But the emissive does not turn off. So we're going to turn off the emissive. That's what we're doing. Illicit things not to do. Hell yeah. So, okay. Vitas. Maybe we can talk about this in the comments. But I get distracted, so I probably won't comment on it. But it's weird. I don't love reading notes in games. I always collect them. But usually if they're too long, I'm like, it's too much. But I love lore notes. I just always think I'll read it later because I want to see what happens next. I don't know. I like notes sometimes better than, like, I really don't like cinematics. Despite the fact I went to school for film, but like, I get bored. I'm like, it's very rare that there's a cinematic where I'm like, it has to be, I don't know, maybe it's just a different game, but like, I feel like, I don't know, if it's like a game where I'm deciding, or like if it's a conversation or something, but like, I feel like so oftentimes cinematics, they try to tell you plot points, but I feel like the whole point of the game is that you're doing it, right? So then you're running around, you're doing something, and then suddenly like you're taken from that, and you're seeing your person run around and do things, and you're like, I was just doing something. Like, I want to keep doing it. Like, I guess it pulls me out of it when there's a cinematic, because that's not like, or like a horror game, for example, where you're like as soon as it's cinematic, I'm like, I'm not scared anymore because I know suddenly I'm no longer in control. Like, it's suddenly like I can like breathe. Like, it doesn't matter if there's a million, whatever. I'm like I'm not gonna die. They're not gonna kill me in the fucking video. So like, that's a really play. Actual story is boring. It's meant to be boring too. That's fair. Okay. You know what? You're right. I think I like notes. Because I think notes can be good to supplement, like flavor, you know what I mean? Where it's like you can, like, details if you're interested. But I think you're right. If it's like if it's doing the heavy lifting, then, and you're not, from soft or something, then it's, I could argue that, so, okay, you hit the button. You want to scare the whole game through, though? No. I think having a safety place is important, but I think there has to be a clear delineation of like safe and not safe, and I think cinematics are intentionally meant to be like, ooh, like what's gonna happen, but I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna die because like the game's only an hour in, and I've read this is a 20-hour, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is like Resident Evil, I guess, I don't remember. I think Resident Evil has a lot of that. Resident Evil 8, if I remember correctly, had a lot of cinematics where I was just like, 7 was less, it was more like, she cuts off his hand and stuff. It's more like, that's more shocking, even though I know I'm not going to die. It's still like, oh, holy shit, like, this is still freaky. And like, I guess I enjoyed those more because it felt more like, I don't know, campy and more like in on the joke. It felt like it was like, we know this is not scary, but it's like interesting. And I feel like 8, it was like, I've never played Scorn. I should play it. So I keep getting distracted. I apologize. Press the button, turns on the light. This guy right here. Oh, what the fuck? It is supposed to turn it off. Why isn't it turning it off? Um, on, it should turn it off. What the heck? I already said videotapes. I think that was more playing, though, because if I remember correctly, like you actually live the videotape. So it felt less, to me, it wasn't really like a note because it was kind of just like a separate level. It was like a side level. No, I don't want to do multiplayer. Okay, why is this turning? Get the hell out of here, man. What the heck? Okay, so we're going to do what is called a... yeah, let's do breakpoint. Oh, okay. I like... It looked a little... My issue with what it looked like was like it's too... I feel like... like... I'll check out Scorn. I will. Because all these recommendations are telling me I should probably I should check it out, and I'll check it out. My issue is I like games more rooted in like it's like it's reality, but it's like weird or something, or like it felt too almost alien, and so it was so disconnected from anything I could relate to. I was just like, oh, like I don't. It seems freaky, but I guess I also just don't play that many games anymore because I'd spent so much time working on it. But it felt, from what I saw, it felt almost unreal. It was too alien, where I was just like, it feels more like walking through an art gallery than it did necessarily playing a narrative experience that I related to. And I don't know if that's true or not, so I could totally be wrong. So let's make horror. Let's see what happens. So it turns on breakpoint. Oh, fascinating. So it is turning it on. Weird. Okay. So it turned. Oh, it's coming at the wrong fucking time. It's reversed. That's all it was, guys. That's all it was. Boom. It doesn't work like it should be working. It works, but it shouldn't be working. Yeah, I know. I always forget to toggle them off, and they're like, "Hey, guys," and I'm like, "I don't care anymore." Perfect. It works, even though it shouldn't work. Lights are fixed. Yeah, I think having I think one of the most palpable feelings for me, and one of the feelings that I really want to capture in this game, is the feeling of like, not, I think dread is obvious, but like more vague. I think the feeling of like, I always talk about this, and so I probably mentioned it if you were talking about it, because I think it's very, it's a great example. But in Resident Evil 7, there's a part where you have to go down into like this basement, and it's not even when the guy's chasing you around. It's like you find your first safe room, and right outside the safe room is this stairwell down into like this basement, and there's these little monsters. The monster's not that creepy, unfortunately, but regardless, I just remember looking down this basement and being like, oh my god, I don't want to go down there. And then once you're down there, like, the things aren't all that freaky. Like, once you get through it, you're like, oh, actually, like it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I got through it pretty quickly. Like, the monsters are slow and, you know, but, like, if you think about it, like, realistically and practically, you can go, oh, like, it actually isn't that bad. But in the moment, and when you're looking down, there's the feeling like I'm in a safe space, and I really don't want to leave it. I really don't want to go down there. And you have to. Like, they're like, you have to go down here. And I think that feeling of, like, forcing someone to do what they don't want to do, like, giving them safety and then taking it, like, not only just taking it away, but making them remove themselves from safety, is... Yeah, I think, I think there's a really hard line between, like, I think a horror game when you die a lot personally isn't that scary. Because like if I go down a dark alleyway in real life, I'm afraid, maybe something jumps out and grabs me or whatever, but it doesn't. And so I keep living and I keep being afraid. And so if I die, like I don't, in my life, I don't die, and keep going. And so as soon as you die, you have to do it again. And I feel like ideally in my ideal world there's enough dangers that like I think on the flip side, if you're doing something and suddenly you realize like there is no danger at all, like I can do whatever I want to do, there's almost like a feeling of betrayal. Like you're like, oh, like there's some gif I saw of like someone hanging in the Jedi Outcast game, and the stormtroopers are shooting, and and she eats and comes back or whatever, and like they're still shooting and missing. And so I don't know if that was actually an example of this, but like the fact that when you realize, you see behind the curtain and you realize, where the death truly is a fear. I don't know. I mean, that's the other issue though, is that if it's too punishing personally, like, I don't want to play through a game. I think if the game's short, then you're not as big of a deal. Like, I think if it's like a, Lethal Company or like Left 4 Dead or something, and there's not that much bet on it, dying is more expected, so the death, it feels less, the chips on the table aren't that high. And I think if the game were like hours and hours and you died, and I just don't have time for that, man. I feel it'd be cool. And there are people who do that, who play like, Minecraft, hardcore Minecraft, and they spend like, 100 hours on the game, and then they die and it erases all their stuff. And maybe there is some beauty in that, the fleetingness of progress and growth. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, this is the cable thing. Favorite horror modes of Red Dead from Ocarina. Never played Ocarina of Time. My friend had an N64. I've never owned a Nintendo thing. I never had enough money. My brother had a PS1, and he used to let me play Final Fantasy VII sometimes, and that was... they let me do like insignificant shit. Like I never have to do anything important. But he'd be like, I'd like beg him for days, and he'd be like, all right, fine, you can do a chocobo race, which is basically on rails anyway. But yeah, so right now, for anyone who's just popping in, how many people we got? We got 12 people. What's up, 12 people? Right now, what you do is, this is just it's technically called gray boxing, although this is a white box, where you just basically, the functionality of the thing is there, but obviously it does not look at all like you want it to look, because if it changes or whatever, because people might play it and then they go, actually this whole mechanic is really stupid, and I spent 3 weeks modeling the model and no one really liked it. So you jump down here and you basically you're trying to bring this, there's something going through the cable that you need to bring to other places, and so you're trying to get there and bring this cable there. Obviously this is very not final build, but the way it works is actually kind of cool. It creates an array of things, so it goes, and so normally a cable going around a bunch of walls is super process intensive, and it requires collisions and gravity and all sorts of bullshit. But this work? It will work. This, what it does is hit something, and then, you can't really see it. Fuck, it's too dark. Okay, let's see. Can we change the light? Cannot. Okay. It's really cool. Basically, the way it works is really performative and clever. I found a lot of the code. Actually, I'll give him credit whenever I put this game out. But some guy on Reddit was like, I did this thing and it's really cool, and I want other people to check it out. And I checked it out. It's like a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, and I was like, holy shit, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. And when I was like trying to figure out what I was like, oh, I have to do this, do this. I was like, that guy from Reddit who posted that super cool cable thing. Everyone get on. Oh, okay. Thought I heard Discord, but no. And then you dive in this little cave I made. It's a tunnel, technically. Check out this little bad Larry. I kind of want it to look like a weird intestine, like a diseased intestine. Hopefully that's the vibe it gives. Here's some other things. I'll show you guys some other things that I've been working. I've built like 30 different freaking prototypes for this thing. And eventually, hopefully, I get it done. Is it still going? It's still going, okay. Sometimes it just cuts out, and I was like, maybe just cut out. I want there to be... Oh yeah, got some houses. I think the idea of going through... I want this to be like a weird seaweed, but I think the idea of going through some grass and seeing something come through but not being able to see it and see the head kind of make this like... Yeah, I'll show you guys what the head looks like. It's pretty freaky. Oh yeah. You can also put these down. What the hell? What the hell? It's not working. Okay. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. So you can kind of figure out where you're going. Or at least remember where you went. But, what was I doing? Oh yes, I'll put one of the guys in there. So you guys can see the head do its little magic. I think this is... Does he have the... He does have the interface. Cool. I will see you later, my friend. Oh yeah, it's got to be pretty late there. Thank you for joining, man. You are great. Are there any games out there with random horror paths, one that triggers walk down the dark state, playing on fear without punishing or dying too much? None of the worst having something, nothing at all. I'm playing random horror. Oh, maybe. I mean, I think the issue is, I think procedural games, there's handmade games and procedural games, and I think procedural works for multiplayer really well because the fun, basically it's like you give them a bunch of ingredients and, you know, it's not a meal, it's like, you give the ingredients and you go, hey, have some fun. And so people make weird experiences, and if the layout of the level isn't really all that logical, it doesn't really matter because you're like, oh, my friend's doing something weird and that's fun, and so I'm having fun. But I feel like single player, you don't really have that, and because you don't have, I mean, I could be wrong. There could be absolutely procedural games that have this, but I feel like narrative procedural games that I've played are. I mean, I think Starfield is. I'm not trying to single out, but I think it's a pretty good example of. I think if you compare Skyrim and Starfield, when you realize that there's just something missing. I don't know. I feel like procedural, you get a lot of like weird dead ends and things that just don't make a lot of sense. And so if the point of the game is to move around and do things with intent and narrative, I guess, purpose, I think it'd be tough to do. I think it'd be tough to do procedural and make it feel like it wasn't just random. Now my dog is freaking out. Why is she freaking out? Billy, what's she doing? She's being crazy. I should probably let her out after this, but I'll show you guys the crazy head. I'll show you guys the crazy head because I feel like people like the crazy head. And I will say I'm pretty proud of the creepy head. Here we go. So, right now, here's the crazy head. Imagine seeing this. and you're like hanging out, you're trying to get through here. This is again a placeholder, not going to look like grass. And then this comes out of nowhere, and the guy like runs at you, and you got this guy staring you down. It's freaky. There we go. And it's actually, I'm kind of proud of it. It's a clever way of, it basically, so one of the biggest issues I had with it is having a bunch of different enemies. And so how does it know which one's closest? Ooh, that's not what I want. So what it does is it creates an array of all nearby. There's a collision mesh. This might be too technical, but man, the radiators are making so much fucking noise. Base morph. So what it does is there's a giant sphere. There might be better, if anyone doesn't real, let me know if there's a better way to do this. There's a giant sphere around it, and so when it overlaps with any actor in the whole game, it says, hey, do you implement this interface? Which means, does it have the interface in its blueprint? Which is just a blank enemy blueprint. It's like a tag, effectively. And so it goes, hey, are there any objects in this sphere that implement an interface? And it goes, oh, there are, okay. And it goes, is the sphere empty? Well, this is for a different thing. So this one, its necessariness is debatable. So it grabs this is the first time it begins the overlap. So it goes, okay, grab the sphere, grab every actor that's overlapping in it. So if there's one, if there's not, whatever. It goes, okay, that's the actor, that's the target actor, which is like the enemy that's approaching us. And it grabs all the actors in the sphere, and it goes, okay, let's compare their distances. We're going to say, is the actor... Okay, so let's go over here. I'm walking over here. The sphere overlaps all of them. And it goes, okay, we're going to say this guy is the closest one. And then it goes, okay, is the distance to the player, is it more or less than this guy? And it goes, okay, like this is further away, so we'll keep this as the main guy. And it goes over here, and it goes, okay, what's the distance between the player? And let's say this is 50, this is 30, and this is 10. So it goes, okay, like, no. If it's this one, and then suddenly I run over here and it hits this one, and then it goes, okay, like, this is the actor we're comparing it to, this is 20 units away, and then it goes, wait a second, this guy is only 10 units away. And so it goes, oh, pivot, that's the main guy. Lore-wise, there is a reason, and I think it'll be cool. There's some cool stuff that I think I'm cooking. It's going to be a lot about like consciousness and like I did do a good job explaining it. I don't really talk to anyone about this. I kind of just put on weird music and just kind of go away or go at it. Yeah, no, it's about like consciousness and like, I don't know, I think the demo does a pretty good job of capturing the feelings of like both kind of like weird loneliness and kind of like, what are you making choices? Are you just a collection of choices? Or maybe that's more than the demo is saying. But I think this kind of like free will, consciousness, and kind of just the significance of relationships with other people, and kind of how that manifests when we're all just kind of a bunch of weird meat bags floating around on a rock. Yeah, I don't know, but I was gonna say, let's see how many. There's 10 of you. I was gonna say all 10 of you are lovely, beautiful human beings, and I'm so grateful that you guys are here to hang out. It's a pretty weird experience to make something that you believe in, but you're like, I hope other people also believe in it too. so I am infinitely grateful that there's 10 of you here who believe in it too. So, yeah, there's a Discord for anyone who's not in the Discord. You're more than welcome to join. It's not really popping off all that much, but I try to post some updates, and I post when I'm doing this, although I'm bad at playing, so I kind of just go, I'm doing it now. But yeah, even like the one, like I don't know if he's still here, but someone was asking about like, whether co-op is a good idea or not. And I think, good or bad, I want to hear it. Like, if you think I'm doing something that's stupid, like, let me know. That's fine. I think praise isn't always great. I think hearing, like, for example, if you say, "Hey Tim, I think that head thing is stupid as shit," that's fine, because I'll go, "Okay, like, why do you think it's stupid?" And you're like, blank reason, and I can go, "Okay, like, I disagree with it, and here's why," and I can go, "All right, like, I feel good about my decision to keep the head, like I reinforce my belief in it." Or I can go, "Actually, they have a pretty good point. Maybe I should reconsider it." And so I think there's this, for me personally, I think there's this belief that criticism means you don't like it, and I think if you over criticize, or you criticize from a wrong place, I think it can be. But I also think I think ultimately a good criticism is saying, like, I want you to succeed, and I think here's something that could be better. So you're still here, yeah. So I'm saying, like, I think your concerns about co-op are totally valid, and I don't think it always has to be positive. I don't think if you're watching, you have to say something that's inherently like, "Oh, this is amazing" all the time. Like, it isn't going to be. There's going to be choices that I make that you don't agree with, and it's okay. I think disagreement is fine, and I think hopefully from those disagreements, I'll get some awesome feedback, and I'll make a better game. So if you have things, suggestions, like, don't hold back. I will not be offended, unless you're just like, "Your head's big," and I'm like, "I know my head's really big. I have a really big head." So, like, if you as long as it's not just like personal insults, like, I'm here for it. And for people who just joined, I got to bounce. My dog probably has to go outside, and she's barking. But yeah. So any feedback, any criticism, any suggestions, like, I might not necessarily do it, but I'd love to hear it. Some guy suggested something about phones. Feedback. Let you talk. Later. Yeah, that's fair. Well, yeah, some guy was telling me about, like, phones. He was like, "Oh, like, co-op games aren't really scary when you're walking around together." And I agreed, but I was struggling on how to figure it out. And I was having, like, weird communication things, and it wasn't really resonating. And he was like, "What if you just have phones?" And this wasn't even prompted. He just came in the Discord and was like, "Hey, like, you should have phones in different areas that you can talk to each other, and that's the only way you can talk." And I was like, "Holy shit! Like, that's a really good idea." And I really pivoted, the direction of the game really pivoted in that moment, because I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, I really love that idea. It solves the problem that, I mean, it's not going to be exactly that, but it's very similar. And so, like, it solves the problem that I was kind of facing, and I got really excited about it. Yeah, it was just some guy who I have his name saved somewhere because he's getting in the credits, but yeah, I don't know. Feedback is awesome, and anyway, yeah, I'm super grateful for all you people here hanging out. It's weird that you can't talk. I wish you guys could talk back, because then it feels like I'm just an asshole in a one-sided conversation who's just not asking questions about everyone else. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm really grateful for all of you, and maybe, I don't know, if it's something people like, I'm more than happy to do this on a more routine interval. I don't know how exciting it is to watch me just dick around on Unreal, but if it's something people like, let me know, and I can do it on a more scheduled, consistent basis. But yeah, I'm gonna let her out, but you all are wonderful and lovely. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, if it does it too much, then you go to call and you just immediately die. You're like, that kind of sucks. Of course, yeah. No, I'm so happy to. I mean, any questions, I'm more than happy to answer or explain or anything. I'm not like, oh, that's my proprietary. Like, you can't figure it out. Like, we're all just, all just trying to do the best we can. So, yeah, I'm grateful for all of you, and I will see you. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.